I love using a Twig stove. This is mine. It's a Solo stove brand, and everybody likes it for a different reason. One thing, you never run out of fuel, which is great. As long as you've got twigs and wood that you can break up in the forest, you've got fuel, so you don't ever have to worry about losing all your fuel capacity. You've got plenty of it. It's really difficult sometimes to get your hand in this. This is a small single unit. It fits inside of every cook pot that I own, which makes it very efficient that way. It stores like this. This goes in here, and then when it's time to, you make your fire, when you get fire started, you just put on the rack up here. It burns very efficiently with very little smoke. People ask me, though, they have a hard time getting them started, so what do you do? And you'll notice that you can't lay certain things in the bottom down there because it's graded, and it'll fall through, and it's really hard to light. So you've got to have something that's flat that sits on the top. One thing that I use is from time to time is cotton balls with Vaseline on them, and I'll start that. If you got some inclement weather, I've actually started a technique that I'll show you where I take some wood that's just almost punk wood, and I dehydrate it, and in my dehydrator, dry it all out, and then I airtight package it, and I use that for emergencies. If I need to get going in a hurry or whatever, instead of waiting for the heat to build on this, and I got to get on the trail and got to move fast, I'll use some of this dehydrated wood, and it works incredibly well. So I'll show you how I do that, and then and show you how easy it lights, and it's a great way to get your Solo stove going. I found some great wood out in the forest last time I was there. I saved it in a bag. I just love to keep some of these newspaper sleeve bags if you still get a hard newspaper. They're great for collecting bark and amber and all kinds of resins and pieces of punk wood like this, and so you can bring those with you. Now you can see there's a lot of moisture, condensation. I had this sitting out in front of a window, so there's a lot of moisture in this wood. So what I'm going to do is to enhance it and make it go quicker, light quicker, I'm going to dry it using hot air in my dehydrator. All right, so I've just loaded all of my trays with the wood pieces that I pulled out. I'm going to stick my top tray on top just because it has the cone venting on the top part, and it'll help distribute the air. These things, because some of these wood pieces are a little bit big, I didn't break them down into size, so you're going to have some gaps in the sides. Don't worry about it. This is just firewood. And I put on the lid, and I'm going to do it at 155 degrees for 5 hours and just see what that does. But this should dry out all the wood and help it ignite a whole lot faster, and I'll show you how I package it afterwards. All right, I decided to go with 160 degrees, 5 hours, and I've dehydrated all of this wood. I put it in there, got it all dried out. It was good kind of punky wood, and it's completely dried out now. And then what I'll do is I'll seal that dryness in with these sheets, vacuum pack sheets. So what I've done is I've taken a vacuum pack bag. This is an 8-inch bag. I've sealed it at 4 inches long ways, and then I seal both ends after I put the wood in there. And then I've got a 2-pack, so I can just open this one will stay dry. But this is if you're going on an extended trip and you need to kind of keep some things dry just in case it rains. It gives you the ability to have several days worth of starter woods to go. So I've got about 4 good chunks there. I can break those down into smaller pieces, and that wood's going to take off. So I'll seal both of these ends, and then we're ready to go. It's all sealed up. This is the 2-pack that you can make, And you got enough wood in there to easily start 2 fires, probably 4, just depending on how wet your wood is out in the forest that you're using. But that'll get you started. I didn't vacuum these, I just sealed them. Reason being is you have a lot of sharp edges on these pieces of wood, and vacuum packing would pull the material around those sharp edges and probably pop the film. So I just left it like it is. Just seal it. It's dry. There's no moisture going to get in there, and you're fine. Now these racks, make sure that you take a water solution with a little bit of bleach in it, a couple tablespoons of bleach, and wash those racks out, because you're using things from the outside that's had all kinds of stuff on it, and you're using those on your food dehydration rack. So you want to make sure that you clean those thoroughly with a bleach and water solution, and that should take care of that. So I keep my wood packets that are sealed airtight, that have been dehydrated. I keep them in a Ziploc bag, so when I open these, I can zip it up and still keep them dry. And I took a piece, I'll show you just how easy it is to light this when it's been dehydrated. So great for your solo stove and your Twig stoves, because that's it. And that's all you need to get your fire started. And when you dehydrate that punk wood, semi-punk wood, it just goes really, really quick. So I just drop that in there with a few other pieces, maybe one other piece of this type of wood and some twigs, pine straw, whatever. And I'll have that stove raging in no time.